What? Did you think I was going to use the same music for book 2? Come on, I've got 8 music tracks, 1 for each book, and they're even themed to the books as well. So, it's time for The Way of Tiger, book 2. Here we go. I am Ninja. My parents are the heaven and the earth. My home is my body. My power is loyalty. My magic is training. My life and my death is breathing. My body is control. My eyes are the sun and the moon. My ears are sensitivity. My laws are self-protection. My strength is adaptability. My ambition is taking every opportunity with fullness. My friend is my mind. My enemy is carelessness. My protection is right action. My weapons are everything that exists. My strategy is one foot in front of the other. My trust is in quad. My way is the way of the tiger. Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry, and it's time once again for the return of The Way of the Tiger. I know, I've left it far too long. It's been, what, a week or two? I kept meaning to come back to this, and somehow the time just didn't feel right. And there were other things. I was getting really back into Kingmaker again. And now, oh yeah, also, you know, Necromunda came out. I've got to play more of that. But now feels good. Now feels like a good time to return and be a ninja. Now, when last we played, we had defeated the undead warlord, and I do have some old memories of this book, some of which I'm not going to mention. There are one or two or three really memorable encounters in this book that have not occurred yet. Also, I remember that after the fight with the undead warlord, one of the priests chastises the magician for casting choking cloud on an undead creature that couldn't breathe, which really messed up their warrior, so he wasn't really able to fight back and defend himself when the undead warlord came to get him. Yeah. I'm not sure if that was in this book or in the beginning of Talisman of Death, or at least I wasn't, so I actually went ahead one section in the direction I was going to go after the last recording and checked, and it is this book. Also, I checked on my suspicion on the goblin body hanging on the chain, and yes, I could have just jumped on the chain and not taken the 10 damage. So yeah, I'll remember that next time I play this book, especially if I perish and have to do so again. Right, because I am very low on health, which means I might not make it to the end in one piece. I'm still down to 1 ninja star, my lucky 1 ninja star. I've got a kick modifier. No throw or punch modifiers yet. That's a shame. I should look into getting those. Also, I've got 4 points of inner force left. Sorry. I still have the opal ring, a pouch with 15 gold pieces, which I haven't really had to spend anywhere yet. There's a lot of not using money in this game. I'm remembering that the books were written by 2 authors. One may have added the money in early on, and then the other might have just not used it, or they might have both not used it. And a reminder, Jamie Thomson wrote the odd-numbered sections, and his co-author anyway, it'd be on a picture, wouldn't it? Mark Smith wrote the even-numbered sections. I can't remember what number section my money came in. So, yeah. Also, I have the Essence of Fire Newt, the Scrolls of Kettsuin. I may use Quan Redeem Me once. Now, right, I have memories about using Quan Redeem Me in this book, right? There was an option to use it with the big proto-ooze monster and the partially dissolved goblin, and I was pretty sure that that was not the correct section to use it. One of my memories of this book is, I think about 2/3 of the way through the book, there's a portion where we get captured and put in a cage in underground caverns, where we will then be made to fight in a big arena until we die. No, not go into the arena and kill opponent after opponent after opponent until we die. It's like, go in, fight, get taken out, months getting worn down until eventually there's nothing left and you perish. Or we use Quan Redeem Me to get out of there. And it's like the only way to continue the quest. And if we used it already, we're screwed. So that's why I held back on using that. Also, we have a message here from Tim that entry 201 has a misprint on the number to go to. Tells me to go to 136, instead I should go to 21. I checked 136, I checked 21. Yes. 21 is going in... Right, so entry 201 is going into a valley. Entry 21 is going into a town in that valley. Entry 136 is leaving the town, having left the town and emerging from the other end of the valley. So it's literally skipping that place. Now, I didn't check if entry 201 was a leaving the town kind of entry, but it seems to bypass the town entirely. And that feels like a misprint. If it is, I don't believe it's been corrected in the new books. But more importantly, there is vital plot stuff that occurs in that town that cannot... It's like, if you skip it somehow, stuff that happens in later books literally does not make sense. Like unavoidable stuff that happens in later books. So you literally have to go to the town. It's one of those major plot points where, various paths converge. So yeah, I've got rolls up, I've got my PDF open here, I've got my character sheet. I am sort of good to go. And yes, the young magician said we look like an assassin. We're dressed in a ninja suit and covered in blood. Most of it our own. So yes, we do look like an assassin. However, one of the priests has invited us to eat with them, and I think we should take the opportunity to rest among the company of men whose lives we have saved, or whose lives we have contributed towards the saving of. Because if anything bad happens and anything nasty comes to get me, these guys will probably stand up for me, right? So yeah, I shall accept the Priest of Avatar's invitation to eat with them. 25. The adventurers eye you warily. Sorry, I misspoke, didn't I? The adventurers eye you warily. It's a different word. But give freely of their food, dried meat and oatmeal biscuits. In fact, I'm going to do that whole sentence again. The adventurers eye you warily, but give freely of their food, dried meat and oatmeal biscuits. You recognize the second priest to be a follower of the goddess Illustra, goddess of life, consort to Avatar and supreme principle of goodness. Because goodness is apparently a word now. I mean, it's not, technically, but people use it anyway for, like, comedic value. The priest in white, who tells you his name is Tybalt, begins to criticize the young magician. In the name of all that is good, Eris, what demon possessed you that you should cast the noisome vapours around a being that does not need to draw breath to exist? If not for our saviour here, we would have joined the wraith in its barrow by now. It's a fine magician who cannot even dispel his own magics. Eris blushes and turns away, but the swordman Vespers moans, My sword arm will never be what it was. I said that we should not have taken up with the worshipper of a chaos god. Eris begins to laugh as you accept some food. Well, he shouldn't. He totally cocks up. He just doesn't want to deal with the consequences. The second priest, whose name is Tafleur... Look, it's a W, so it's got to be Welsh. Tafleur... No, it's Tafleur, because the Welsh W is a double O. And wears a white cross on green. Ah, the one who invited us to eat with him, I believe. So the second priest, whose name is Tafleur and wears a white cross on green and follows the goddess Alastra, says that he knows that Eris made no more than a simple mistake, but he suggests the magician give Vespers his sun-star ring, as the swordsman's sword arm is crippled beyond magical healing. If you have the Goblin King's dancing sword, we do not. We could have got that. I don't think we would. Right. I think we might have been able to get that in book 1, but we might have also possibly see if there's a distinct. I think it's captured by dark elves and forced to fight in a pit, because we can give him this dancing sword and go, here, look, your arm's cacked, but here's a sword that fights for you, right? And it flies around hitting people. If the dancing sword was from this book, and the way to be captured was to be captured by the goblins and not the dark elves. And remember that in the later books the illustrations of the Dark Elves look particularly goblin-like, then that failure of mine, of a dice roll and falling down the chasm and meeting the monster, was really bad luck. So sadly I do not have such an item, so, oh well, turn to section 5. 5. Right. I wonder if we had the dancing sword and gave it to him, maybe they would have given us some healing. That would have been really nice. The magician surrenders his ring to the swordsman and turns to you to ask if there is anything he could do to reward you for saving them. If you are wounded, he heals you and you regain any lost points of endurance. Oh yes, we didn't even need a magic sword. 18 points back. Ka-ching! Healthy again. I am saving that before a computer crashes or something, you know. Right. If you came through the caves of the goblins, he notices swellings on your body and tells you that you have caught the plague. Flippin' heck. Praying to Avatar, he lays his hand on your forehead and drains the sickness from you. I am so glad we stopped here, because I suppose, like, if like many sections further down the line, we come to a section, did you go through the goblin caverns? Oh no, it'd probably be after if we just say no thanks, we'll go on without meeting you, and then it would go to the next and be like, you have lumps and sores on your body, you have got the plague, and then we carry on with the adventure, you know. So this done, you leave the hilltop, walking east towards the sea star. You take your leave of them, anxious to reach a port where you may take a ship to the island of Tranquil Dreams. Will you head southwest, a way that looks rocky and wooden? Looks rough and wooden, or due west where the land is more open and there is less covered? And there is less cover. Right. Southwest or west? Well, if we apply the Fighting Fantasy rule, both of those are bad directions. We are... It's such a shame that the guys who reprinted the books were going to do a Way of the Tiger role-playing game set in Orb before they ran off with all the money and didn't really do a good job. So we come through the Goblin's Teeth Mountains, we're down near the Sea of the Star. Where exactly? We're walking east towards the Sea of the Star, so southwest or west. So that would be the wooded area. West would be the direct area towards Dwarrowhome, which is probably where the dwarfs live. I don't believe we ever get to meet them in the entire series. That's how secretive they are. Now, we are... Is it Feyendil or... Right. We don't want to go to Ursmancast until, I think, book 3. Mort Avalon is where the evil arena was in the first book. The arena I'm thinking of, the Dark Elf arena, is somewhere under the mountains. The town we don't want to avoid and must go to. Don't think it's Doomover. I don't think it's somewhere in this area. It's got to be. Grey Guilds on the Moor? I'm not sure. Remember, this is the map from book 1. I don't have a map from book 2. I have maps from book 3 onwards. We are a ninja. There are enemies looking for us. We need to get the scrolls of Kettsuin safely back to the monastery on the island of Tranquil Dreams. So, right, if we go through the woods, yes, there's going to be bushes and trees and things that enemies can hide in, and I should do a quick paranoia check, all good. But then we can hide as well. Animals that live in the forest, well, they're probably going to know we're there, right? They've got good, keen senses. People, and some monsters, not so much. If we go through the open space, we will be very, very visible. Obviously, we'll masquerade as a simple traveller or something, like a peasant. But yeah, we'll be able to see danger coming, but we will be visible from many directions a great distance. I think I should take the forest, because being sneaky, look, there may still be enemies pursuing me. I think I probably lost their trail when I went down into the caves in the mountains, but you never know. The west is more... Is it though? Is it more direct? That's 43. That is that is one of the important sections that cannot be avoided. From 2 days you travel from dawn till dusk, gaining little rest. The hawthorn hedges and clumps of gorse mean that you must frequently go back on your tracks and find a way through. Your head is bowed in thought on this overcast day when a rustle of dried leaves catches your attention. You are walking down a narrow deer path between hawthorn bushes, and 3 brigands with drawn swords are barring your onward path. There is no escape from the bushes, and looking back you see 3 more move out from behind cover to trap you. Do I have the skill of acrobatics? I don't believe I do. I do not have the skill of acrobatics. Or you may wish to use a shuriken if you have one, or a poison needle if you are skilled with them. I don't believe I have the skill of poison needles. I only have 1 shuriken. I think I should save it. This is bad. I see here in section 43 that having a shuriken would be useful. When I have not yet reached section 43, and I know that it is an area that lies ahead of me in the adventure. Bugger. However, more importantly, I'm like, I could throw a ninja star at one of them. I might be able to get it back. Might not. Better be safe than sorry. So I'll just advance and attack all 3. There's 3 more behind me. This could end really badly. Because I would need to be very, very quick. Oh, yeah, they look nasty, don't they? All 3 blokes. I like his loose baggy shirt. Makes his arm look like one of those long-handled Indian maces with an onion-shaped head. I think it's just called a mace, but yeah. I mean, look at these guys. That shield... There's something very wrong about the way he's holding that shield. I think he's holding it like a center grip shield. It's not a strapped shield. In which case it just about kind of works. That looks like it should be a strapped shield from its shape. His arm... No, it's got to be a center grip shield with a handle on the back. Because the way his arm's going down here, there's no way that could be attached otherwise. Right. Inexplicably, a chill of fear runs through you as they draw their swords. If they are mere brigands, they should pose little threat, As you approach in fighting stance, you notice that they stand together awaiting your attack like trained soldiers, not bandits. Right, remember when I said there are enemies trying to get me? Evil chaos cultists from, minions of the three overlords of evil who I've slain. A leaping tiger kick, a tiger's paw chop, or a whirlpool throw. That's the least expected. I will go for that. This could end poorly. I'm sensing this is not a normal fight, and this is a... Oh! Surprisingly, the three men before you move with military precision. The one on your left is a left-handed swordsman. We saw that in the illustration. And while you try to parry the forceful blows of their attacker and whirl him around your hip, the others... Oh, whirlpool throw. I thought it was the one that goes for the head. Hang on. Hang on. Did I mess it up? Yeah, whirlpool throw is the Aikido throw. I thought I was going for the teeth of the tiger throw. Because that would... Whirlpool throw involves getting pretty close and is quite dangerous. The leader's defense against your throw is 6. And we need to get over defense. We don't meet or beat, we beat. Right, so 2d6. 8! Hey! If you're successful, you use his body to block an incoming sword and he is pierced by the blade of one of his own men. Note that he loses 3 endurance. There is no time to follow up with a killing blow. He rises to his feet as you parry another thrust. Will you punch or kick? If you fail, your side is cut and you lose 4 endurance. And then directed to the same 2 sections. Right. So I think we're going into a... to a proper fight now, and then we'll see how much health he's got. Well, I'm going to abuse the fact that we have a kick modifier and go for the kick. Okay, so endurance 12. So the throw will give us +2 to hit him because we knocked him down. Seven. Oh, he is not good at defending against the leaping tiger kick. Your leg flies towards the leader's head faster than lightning as you try to break his neck with the force of your leaping tiger kick. Oh, he does the same damage as our kicks. That is actually quite nasty if he manages to hit us. 5 damage. Awesome. Takes him down to 7. So with a throw and a stab from one of his own men and a kick. Haha. Yeah. Oh, villainy. I'll use your own weapons against you. If he still lives, you must defend against his thrust. Your defense is 6. And against a cut from one of his men. Your defense is 7 and 6. Right. You may block only 1. All of the brigands do the same damage as their leader when they hit. If you have attacked him 4 times and he still lives... Oh, God. Right, forget the throws. So, he's going to attack us. We're going to use inner force in a bit. So he gets a hit in. We can take one hit, right? 4 damage. That's alright. We just got a total heal. That would have pretty much killed us otherwise. And then one of his men will strike as well. Okay. I will remind myself if blocking needs to beat the attacking roll. I don't think it is. I think it's beat my defense. Is it under my defense? Less than defense. And so bang on defense is always a miss. My defense against this attack is 6. I would need to roll very low to defeat it, so no, I'm just going to have to take the hit. 3 points of damage I will gladly take. So, sensing the urgency now, I will kick again with a point of inner force. Its defense is 5, so as long as I don't roll a 5 or less, I should be okay. Ah! Okay, so he will attack me and fail. His man will attack me and hit. I will take the hit. And I will strike again with inner force. This time I need an absolute. That's 4 attacks. I'm done for. Why am I... Oh, it's so horrible. It's going to be such a short episode as well. Right, yeah. Well, he's going to attack now, as is his minion. I will try to parry his attack. I do. And one of his buddies hits me for another 3, and then I presumably die. And just get borne to the ground by the weight of them. Because the other 3 are going to turn up behind. Oh, that's really bad news. Oh well. You have still not broken past your attackers, and now the 3 who had closed the path behind you join the fray. These too are trained soldiers, and you cannot withstand the attacks coming from both sides. You fall to the blade of one of the newcomers, and in your last dying moments you hear him say, "Honoric would have liked to see this. We have recaptured the scrolls." Oh no! How cruel! Well, I'm going to take a break and replay through this book. I'll cut any stuff I've done before. I think I'll follow a fairly familiar path. I might get some better dice rolls. I'll show you anything important. I'll try and get back to this point. What a bummer. I've got to reset the character sheet now back to how it was at the start of the book. Well, at least that shouldn't be too tricky. I can probably watch the first episode, but oh, I was feeling good. I was feeling positive, you know. Ah, well. Better luck next time, eh? Alright, well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and I will certainly look forward to recording the next one and releasing it for you all. Speaking of which, however, there is something that I was looking forward to last week that got delayed to this coming week, which should be coming out Tuesday. I think many of you will already know what it is. And yes, I'll blatantly be covering some of it a bit. So, yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 will go into early access on Tuesday. I will blatantly record some stuff. Now, what I'll do is I'll record some early access stuff. I won't want to do too much of it because I don't want it to be kind of stale in my throat by the time we finally come out of early access. So I'll record a bit and then leave it for a bit, you know, periodically revisit it. And yeah, that'll be fun. I also need to record more Mordheim, and I need to finish Darkest Dungeon before Darkest Dungeon 2 comes out, and I need to get, well, I need to stay excited about the Darkest Dungeon computer game, role-playing game, board game, man, a Darkest Dungeon role-playing game. That'll basically be RuneQuest. because it's the same rules as Call of Cthulhu, you know. Or actually, a really good one would be, I mean, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay would be the best one for it, really. Although I'd say Shadows of Estron would come second best if it wasn't so combat heavy. Alright guys, that does actually bring me to the end of this episode. What an unfortunate end for our ninja. We will definitely have to try once more to get those scrolls back safely to the temple. But that will happen in a future episode. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and I do look forward to seeing you all in the next one. I'll say bye-bye for now, and cheerio everyone!